Let's take a 30-year-old accountant from Mexico. You get 105 points for age, 135 points for education, 136 for English, 50 for language proficiency, 50 for foreign work experience. That's 476 points altogether, which despite the impressive education and work experience is still too low in this day and age. But there are jobs which are privileged enough to have a much lower entry requirements. This video is a breakdown of the state of express entry, or who Canada will reward with PR this year. If you're interested in legal help, you can speak with our immigration lawyers by booking a consultation down in the description. I'm sure this video can be used to predict the trajectory for what industries are going to be in demand for the next decade and help you plan better for what to study and how to immigrate to Canada. Let's start with highlighting the groups of people who can get PR relatively easy. Number 1, French speakers. 2, healthcare workers. 3, STEM workers. 4, trade workers. 5, transport workers. 6, agriculture and agri-food workers. It's important to remember that in order to qualify from Canada or from abroad, you need to have at least 1 year of high-skilled work experience that can be legally traced. To do so, you need an employment contract and salary slips. Self-employed individuals, unfortunately, do not qualify. What's interesting is that express entry only requires 6 months of experience in one of these categories. For example, to qualify for express entry, you can have 1 year of experience as an accountant, but to pass through one of these category-specific streams, you need 6 months of experience as, let's say, software developer or any other occupation on the list. Probably the biggest problem many immigrants run into when going through this express entry category-based selection is they get confused whether their job title aligns with what the government needs under one of those 5 categories. Why do I say 5 categories? Because when you scroll down, you'll see that there's different occupation categories, 5 of them, and then there is one for French speakers, which is probably not that many of you. So let's focus on this one. How do you make sure that your job is on one of those lists? You go through the list, you realize, wow, there's like 4 pages. Each page has like 10 jobs, and those knock codes might have different names for each title. Does my job belong to this knock code or not? Well, for that specifically, we built a free tool called PR Indicator. You can access it by going to canadaimmigrate.com. It's under our AI tool suite. When you sign up for free, you get access to the PR indicator. Then all you need to do is simply enter your job title. So let's say that you work as a website developer. I like that one. It's a lot of our viewers actually. The tool is comparing express entry priorities to the knock code. There you go. You got high probability of obtaining PR. And that's calibrated to the federal express entry category-based selection. Now, on the other hand, let's say that you work as an interior designer. Let's see if we can find it on the list here. All right, so interior designer has medium probability. What does it mean? It means that it's not on the category-based express entry, but you can still qualify. So this tool is free. It's going to help you significantly to navigate this complicated research process. Feel free to use it. It's going to be in the description below. And now back to the video. Now, there's a very important analysis I'd like to share with you, my amazing viewers, because this will help you see the future a little better. What I'm talking about is I'd like to compare the government's immigration targets that they laid out in the beginning of the year to what's actually happening in the express entry system, so that you can understand better what your chances are and what's going on right now. So if we go to the government immigration levels, we'll see that for 2024, they have the target, they have the low range, and the high range. If you follow Canadian politics, you would probably understand that it's not the best economic situation for Canadians to welcome immigrants. So many of them are against immigration. In fact, sadly, 60%. Therefore, something tells me the government will pursue the low range goal for 2024 this year. And within the low range, we see some very interesting numbers. What you need to pay attention to is the economic immigration. That's federal high skilled, 90,000. Then French speakers, which is, let's just use the number for overall target, 26,000. And there's also provincial nominee program, about 100,000, just over that. And obviously there's the AAP, but that's a whole separate topic. So let's take this number, let's take this number, and 26,000 for French speakers. Then we want to open the express entry draws. We're in mid-February, almost the end of the month actually, and we have what we have. So far, since the year started, 2024, if you look at French language proficiency draws, we've already had 7,000 people invited. What does it tell you? Well, the target is 26,000, so 7,000 would make about, what, 25-26% of this, which is insane because it's just the start of the year. We've already got 1/4 filled. But if you look at economic immigration, the 90,000 that we need to invite to a PR this year, according to the target, and you compare it to how many people have been invited already. So let's say that this is 1,500. So in total here we got almost 3,000, then 3.5. So we have another 1.5, 150. So we have about what, 8,000 people for the economic immigration invited. If you add those numbers for me, I'd love you. So please comment below the exact percentages, and I'm sure a lot of people would benefit from that. But what I see right now is 8,000 people invited out of the 90,000 people target. That's not even 10%. And we've already started the year. We're in month 3 almost. In simple words, what does it mean and what can you expect? My prediction is the express entry system will accelerate. They need to pick up the pace because French speakers are doing really well. They've already fulfilled 25%, but economic immigration, not even 10%. They will pick up the pace. I'm sure the scores will go down a little bit. Of course, not for general. General are insane. These numbers are crazy. 500, 540, 540. But for category specific, I'm pretty sure we'll see more STEM draws, more healthcare draws, and more trades. Because trades, we see a lot of different PNPs, right? Provincial nominee programs in different provinces, which aim to attract construction workers as they're in high demand. So again, look at these numbers, compare the percentages throughout the year, and this will put you ahead of other people. And also there's one interesting class that I want to touch, which is HNC, Humanitarian and Compassionate. We'll talk about it just in a few seconds. If I were you, regardless abroad or inside the country, I would go to the CRS score calculator, and after answering the 10 questions, see the overall score. Then I'd check if my score is high enough for one of the categories. If you have time, learn French. A great strategy is to sign up for intensive classes that prepare specifically for TEF or TCF, the French language tests. You will need to get at least CLB 7 or intermediate level to pass through the French category draw. If this still doesn't work in your case, you have the Provincial Nominee Program or Humanitarian and Compassionate Considerations, which not many people talk about. In a nutshell, with an HNC application, you need to prove that you have been contributing to Canada and now would not be able to go back home. This is particularly applicable to Ukraine, Iran, Sudan, Ethiopia, and other countries you see on this map of world conflict. If you want a detailed application on this topic, please let me know in the comments below this video. I would love to hear your story in the comments. Please let me know where you stand regarding permanent residency here in Canada. And as always, consultations and other links will be in the description of this video. Like it, and I'll see you in this one next.